it's little Kansas Kitty and I welcome you back to my journey. This is my 5-week post-op update video for gastric bypass RNY surgery, which I had on June 25th, 2018. I started my journey at 238 pounds. I'm 5'6". I'm 38 years old, and today I weigh 206 pounds. So I've dropped a total of 3 pounds in the last week. Yay! Last week for my 4-week, I did do measurements, and I just want to show you, I did buy some of some kind of soft measuring tape. I think this is typically used for sewing. I don't do a lot of sewing, so I didn't have any, and I did just get some measuring tape to do my measurements going forward. I got this on Amazon. I am feeling thinner. When I look in the mirror at my bathroom at work, when I step out, I've noticed that I feel thinner in my clothes. My clothes are a little tricky actually right now because I'm definitely in between sizes. My 18s are too big. They don't look good. I have a lot of 14s in my closet, but I don't know what I did between 14 and 18 because I can't find like hardly any 16s. So I can't fit into the 14s yet. So tops wise, they're either too tight or too loose. So I'm definitely in this awkward in between stage, but hopefully I'll soon feel like I've gained a whole new wardrobe when I get to 14s. Energy, I've got so much energy. I feel like this is the magical time of post-op. 4 weeks to 5 weeks, I've heard, is when the pain subsides from all your incisions and you're starting to feel really healed inside, and it's amazing. I mean, I've done things this week that I totally forgot I couldn't do before, and it does feel like a magical time. Like the pain's been lifted. I haven't done Tylenol really all this week. Forgive my camera, it's going to be a little bumpy because one of my cats is sitting up here where I've got my camera propped up. I have 2 cats, Romeo and Juliet. Anyway, they're adorable. Yes. So, my energy is definitely up. At work, I have this floral arrangement that's delivered weekly at my desk, and the florist came by to pick up and took it off, hauled it off when they replaced it with the new ones, and left some like kind of dry leaves on the floor. And so I hurried up to kind of pick up and clean up, and I bent down with no issue at all. I did have a long dress on, which was a goal to be back in my dresses, but I had a long dress on, and I bent down to pick it up, and I got down there and I just like stayed for a second, and I just held the stance and I smiled to myself when I was down there, and I was like, I'm bending down. I'm bending down. Like without hesitation, I bent down to pick up these leaves, and that is a total NSV, non-scale victory, because it had been so, like, bending down at my high weight was so hard and so difficult. And I was like bent down in the knee, like with my knees down, and I was comfortable, and I just like stayed there for a moment and smiled. So that was exciting. And then also I went shopping the other day with my daughter, and she was in the shopping cart, and she's 7, but she's a tiny little thing. She's like 50 pounds for a 7-year-old, so that's not a whole lot. And we were loading up school supplies. We've done school supply shopping, and we were loading them up on the conveyor belt, and I was helping her out of the cart because she was sitting in it, like in the big part. And I lifted her up, and I, like, you know, she uses a lot of muscle too because she's a little gymnast. And she jumped out, and she was like, oh, Mom, you haven't done that forever. You haven't been able to do that. And I realized, you know, I haven't picked her up in 5 weeks. And I still pick her up, you know. Sometimes I still take her on my back up the stairs, or when she goes to bed. And so she noticed it right away, and I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe I did that. First of all, I was like, that's a lot of weight, 50 pounds. I'm, still post-op, but it was no problem. Like, I had no difficulty with it, and I had no trouble the next day. So I think that was totally fine, and it was another NSV non-scale victory to be able to pick up my daughter again. I'm feeling colder. So that's happening. I know that's going to continue to happen, and I'm just going to be freezing, especially when the fall and winter comes. But we do have the air conditioning on at work, and I am freezing. I'm shivering, I'm cold, I know I'm not getting a ton of calories, and I'm dropping weight, and I am bringing like big sweaters to work. So I know that's another sign of this process. And I've definitely am conserving energy at home because I've bumped up my thermostat by 2 whole degrees. So my air conditioning is not blowing as hard as it was before, and my body temperature has just definitely changed in the last few weeks. Vitamins, I am taking all my vitamins. This is my last week of Pepsi Complete, and then I replace that with the calcium citrate. So I'm excited to do that. The Pepsi Complete actually tasted fine. It was a chewable, and it was kind of sweet and good. And so this calcium citrate is the chocolate peanut butter flavor though, so I'm super excited to start those out next week. And then everything else is the same. I do have a sleeve of vitamins that I take with me every day to work, and there were a couple days this week that I forgot the sleeve. I think I was just rushing out of the house so fast, and I panicked when I was at the office, and I almost drove home, and it's not a like quick drive home, but I was like, oh my gosh, I have to take my vitamins, and I almost drove the 30-ish minutes home, and then I would have had a 30-ish minute drive back just to pick up my vitamins. And I thought, no, you know what, right now, since I'm not taking the calcium citrate yet, and I don't have to separate that from my multivitamin, I'll just double up when I get home. So I did do that 2 days, but not a habit I want to get into. I definitely want to be sure to bring my vitamins with me wherever I go. In terms of kind of supply, I still am doing well. Most of my supply that I purchased beforehand was either 45 days to 90 days worth. So I think there's just maybe one vitamin that I do need to begin to order soon again as a replacement. I think that might be my B12, which my B12 is the one that dissolves under my tongue, and it takes a long time. And so I actually want to send a shout out to Mitchell in Minnesota, who I'll link his channel below. He's adorable, and he's coming up with a surgery next week. So go check him out. He's a lot of fun, and he's just about to start this journey. So he is a lap band revision to RNY. But anyway, on his channel, he found, when he kind of did his haul for his vitamins, he found the Speedy Melt B12 vitamins in a cherry, a cherry flavor, I think. And he got them on Bariatric Advantage, and I'm going to go get those because he tried it like during his video, and it dissolved super quick. So I'm excited. I'm going to go ahead and replace my B12 with the one that he got. Food-wise, I am still doing, here's the key. So this is what I've learned, is protein and produce for pretty much all my meals, except for my snacks, which are still my Premier Protein shakes, which I love. So I'm doing a little bit of protein, same as last week, with a little bit of produce. Produce meaning right now it's just like, if it's fruit, it's usually applesauce or mashed up banana. And if it's a vegetable, it's a baby food, such as peas or squash or sweet potato, just carrots. So it's all baby food, and I figured out the trick. You have to put just a little bit of salt on it, and then it doesn't then it tastes a little better. So, I mean, salt like tastes better on everything, right? So, it does kind of, every time I smell it, it's like this nostalgia kind of comes over me, and I'm reminded of my babies when they were little and I was spoon feeding them. So anyway, by next week I will be into stage 4 of the foods. So I'm excited to venture out into kind of the next stage of pretty much food, soft food. Let's see, I did have a moment this week where I had some canned chicken at work, and you know, it's hard. You do have to chew to get it kind of down to that ground consistency, and then you can swallow. And I think I was going too fast, and I felt like it got stuck. So and it was like kind of around here. And I pretty much said, okay, well, that's the end of lunch today. And I just packed up my food, and it was like, I mean, it wasn't painful. It was uncomfortable, and it was just kind of stuck there. And I didn't really know what to do. I remembered that I purchased some papaya enzymes that are supposed to help. And of course, those were at home, and I was at the office. And so I was like, I'm just gonna, you know, let this kind of work its way through. And my rule by my office is that I'm supposed to wait an hour after I eat to drink any water. So I didn't drink any water, but since then I have done some reading that, you know, in a severe case when something does feel like it's stuck, you're supposed to take small little sips of water to kind of help break it up and bring it down. So I think it took maybe 25, 30-ish minutes, and the feeling was gone, and then I waited probably another 30 minutes, and then I started drinking my water again. I am still liking to drink Crystal Light pink lemonade. It kind of has a sour sweet taste to it, not too sweet. I don't like anything that's too sweet at this point. And I dilute it with quite a bit of water. So it's my favorite. I don't think I'm supposed to be sipping out of a straw like this, but it works, and I'm able to take a pretty decent kind of sip now. Let's see, last night, I've had kind of a busy weekend of preparing for a vacation that I'm taking with my kids this week. And it was 9 o'clock last night. My son had a friend over, and I ran downstairs to tell them something, and he was like, Mom, are you gonna make us something to eat? And and I was like, huh? It's 9 o'clock. You want something to eat now? And he's like, we haven't eaten for like 8 hours. Like, oh shoot. So when you're not feeling hungry throughout the day, it's easy to kind of forget that other people around you do eat. And I still, you know, have my plan, like protein shake, snack in between there. And I know he was exaggerating about the 8 hours. I don't think it was that long, but I just kind of accidentally forget. And so I need to remember that my kids are hungry too. I felt really bad, and so I made them a meal late last night. Let's see. Nutrition in general, I am still having a little trouble. So my whole pre-op went super fast. I went to my consult, I think it was like May 22nd, and my surgery was June 25th. And so as a self-pay patient, it just sped up the whole process super fast. I know that everyone else that goes through insurance has to do typically a 6-month diet and a lot more testing. And so with my surgeon's office being so new to offer it in the Kansas City area, they didn't have a lot of the classes, and they don't have a support group to offer that a lot of other offices do. And so I never did get a nutrition class. Everything that I've learned has either been through the binder of information that they gave me. I did meet with a nutritionist early on, but I didn't feel like I was prepared for that meeting to have a lot of questions for her. And I have learned a lot through just my own research. But I never had a nutrition class, which I really wish I would have had. I still am confused about volume and weight and slider foods. And so I'm just strictly following my plan in my bariatric Bible that they gave me, but I am still a little confused why I can have a fourth a cup of something and then a half a cup of something else, and then 5 or 6 ounces of yogurt. So I guess the yogurt would be considered a slider food. And then I can only have like 2 ounces of cottage cheese because it takes longer. I don't know. If you can explain kind of volume versus weight and slider foods to me, feel free to put a comment down below. One more thing that I have started this week, I did start Mederma. So this is scar therapy. I'm adding it to my incisions. They're looking pretty good. They're still red, but there's a couple of them that I actually have a really hard time finding to apply the scar therapy. So I just rub this in and massage my scars. Massage them and just rub it in real good 2 times a day. Trying to minimize the scars as much as possible. What else? I did want to give a shout out to VSG Joe. I'll put a link to his channel down below as well. He is coming up on his surgery on Tuesday, on July 31st. So send him a lot of love and support and good wishes. And he is just about to start his journey. So just good luck, good luck. Soon you'll be on the loser's bench. Let's see, I am going to vacation with my kids to Michigan this week, so I'm super excited. I'm going to pre-plan all of my meals. I'll be gone for a total of about 5 days, and I'm bringing a cooler, and I am packaging up everything and measuring everything. I will bring my scale as well, but I'm going to have the whole plan set out for 5 days, and I've already told my best friend who we're visiting. She lives on a lake. We're super excited to go visit her, and so I've already kind of give her a heads up that don't worry about me, it's just you and your hubby and the kids. And so we're excited to take a road trip and have some fun this week. So that's all for my 5-week update. Thanks so much for subscribing. I know I've gotten a lot of new subscribers, so thank you so much. Like, comment, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.